Hi, everybody. John Harris with you, and I am glad to welcome back my partner and co-host, Billy Smith. Billy, how you doing, buddy?
Doing the best I can, bud. I just want to say a few things before we get started.
Sure,
Th-
absolutely.
thank you, especially to you for your outpouring support for the GoFundMe page and the well wishes and all that stuff. Um, Also, I'd like to um, thank everyone for the overwhelming support. Also for the prayers, messages. We had food dropped off to us, and all the generous donations that are going to go and well needed that Nicole and the baby's going to need.
Yeah. Um, you're more than welcome. It seems so uh, inadequate to say that. It just, I mean, uh, to say, "Oh, you're welcome." It's like that's what you say when you
Right.
pass the salt. Thank you. You're welcome. Um, but here's a situation where um, I don't knock anybody for getting money that's needed on a GoFundMe page, but we have also people who, uh, the working folks obviously don't get the exposure and get uh, the benefit of a platform like individuals do. It's not a knock on them. You should use the platform for things that are needed. But I just wish we could figure out a way to get, the regular guy a bigger platform when situations like yours arise. But we're gonna post this again and again. I'm gonna put the link on for the GoFundMe page, folks. Um, we're not gonna dwell on it too much because it's painful. But any help you folks can give would be appreciated, whether it's moral support, whether it's financial. Um, these folks are not rich by any sense of the imagination, and there's going to be all kinds of stuff to take care of now and in the future. Um, so we'll put the link on there. The details of the entire situation are spelled out on the link, and we're not going to go into them. But we do implore you, ask you, beg you, plead with you to click on that link, please, and read the situation, read it over, and help in any way you can. Um, there's nothing else really at this point that could be said except we wish everybody as well as they can, Bill, and we hope you guys recover as
Much,
well as you
much
can.
appreciated. Yeah, much appreciated. And if you can't donate, just sharing and getting the word out there
That's true. Please don't be
just
afraid
as
to
well.
share it
I
on
mean,
social media, please. I know I've been kind of trying to share it everywhere, and I've had some friends share it, and I know some donations because of that have come your way, and that's great. Uh,
mm,
but we don't think that because the situation changed, um, that the need has changed. The need really hasn't changed. If anything, the need is a lot worse now in some respects. So we're going to go ahead and go on with the show. We obviously have heavy hearts here, um, but we do have some stuff we have to take care of for now. Um, we want to thank all you folks, like Bill said, for your help. Anybody that's watched this the last few weeks and has helped, we thank you very much. Um, and like I said, I'm going to repost the link and everything. Please share away. Even if you don't share for the football show, share the whole darn thing away. Or if you want, copy and paste the link and put it in your own post and share it. It's easy
yeah,
enough to do that as well. Um, we're going to go ahead and start, Bill. But I did want to say you're more than welcome, and any little bit we can do to help, that's what we're going to try and do. So, and you know how to get a hold of me. If you need anything, let me know.
yep, greatly appreciated, buddy.
All right, no problem. Um, never a smooth transition with something like this to go into something like sports, but we're going to go ahead and give it a shot anyway. There is other sports news besides NFL. Remember, this is from the cheap seats, so we do have sports news to cover. First off, I don't know if you saw it, Bill. I had some fun with the Carlos Correa saga.
Yeah.
Technically, I was corrected today. He didn't fail his physical with San Francisco. It just wasn't. They were just going to use that to renegotiate him lower.
Yeah.
Same with the Mets. They were going to try and renegotiate, and they were renegotiating with the Mets. Apparently, the Twins said, "You know what? We're jumping in here, and we're
Yeah.
see what we can do and nail him down." And give Minnesota credit, they did.
Yeah.
A lot less money for now, but there are vested options that could still take him over 300 million if he re-ups after the initial 6-year contract. So Carlos Correa is not going to the Mets, which I'm sure the Phillies are happy about that.
Yeah.
So are the Braves. He is signed with the Twins in the American League Central. Now a lot of people think with a couple additions the Twins have made, they may be a favorite in the Central, but that's down the road.
Yeah. Good for them.
Methuselah, better known as Nelson Cruz, has signed a 1-year deal to DH for the Padres. I'm thinking this is like his 92nd team or something like that. I don't know. Outside of maybe Philadelphia, Atlanta, I think he's played for almost everybody.
I think he's in his 40s too, right?
42. He's 42.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But he's still hitting the ball. So I guess now with the DH in the National League, he can go anywhere. So the Padres are going to give him a shot. Boston Red Sox re-signed Rafael Devers. That's their good news. Their bad news is Trevor Story had to have surgery on his throwing arm, and it's serious surgery, and he is going to be out at least 3 months, but they say it's a 3 to 5 month time frame. So you may be looking at June or even July after the All-Star break before he can even get in the lineup. So that's a big blow to Boston.
Yeah.
Because he was going to just move over to shortstop, replace Bogarts, and now they're talking about having to bring in Kiki Hernandez probably to play short and try to get an outfielder or something. So that's bad news for Boston. I'm looking to see if there's any other big baseball news that's been real recent. Trevor Bauer will be a free agent as of Friday. He's still in the waiving period, but the Dodgers have cut him. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent as of Friday. Going to be curious to see if anybody will touch him because of all the problems he's had, supposedly with how he treats women. However, I will say this from the legal standpoint. Now, this is only legal. This is not Major League Baseball. He has served his Major League Baseball suspension because they shortened it. The reason they kind of had to shorten it, the arbitrator did, was because, one, he hasn't been charged criminally. There are no criminal charges or investigations at this point pending. And number two, there's not even any civil suits filed against him. Like, that's what happened with Deshaun Watson. 24 women filed civil suits. Right. Even though a couple have come out and named him and how they were treated by him, nobody is suing him. So from the legal standpoint, if a team wants to jump on him, probably he's still under contract and has to get paid by the Dodgers. Right. So he's going to get 21 mil this year, whether he pitches or not. He could sign with somebody. But PR-wise, a lot of teams are going to, most teams, maybe all of them, are going to go, we don't want none of this, at least not right now. Right. I mean, even the Phillies, one incident, which was a bad incident and should have been addressed with Odubel Herrera, they didn't play him for almost 2 years. And you could see he was nowhere near as effective as he was when he was suspended. So that part's going to be interesting. That's really the last of the most recent baseball news that I see. NBA, it's halfway point of the season. And you know what? I don't think anybody cares. If you think about it, I haven't, outside of ESPN, they telecast games, they'll throw scores up and highlights and all that, but I haven't heard, most people don't care. I know Kevin Durant is injured again. He hurt his knee, so he's going to be out for quite a while. But other than that, nobody's really caring. It's almost like unless they are making money with these games,
Yeah,
which they might be with ESPN and TNT, if they're not making any money, I would consider shortening the season at least until after like football's over. Nobody's paying
yeah,
attention because of
yeah.
football.
Nobody's paying attention. If it wasn't for fantasy basketball, I wouldn't be following it either.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and that's probably where the
And
money
half my team were a bunch of pansies anyway because they get a stub toe and then they're out
and
for
they're
two
out.
weeks.
Yeah, yeah. Like Joel Embiid was out for 3 or 4 games, and they never really clarified what his injury was. So, um, and the rest of it, well, Dana White from MMA from USFC. I mean the owner of it, really, if you think about it,
Yeah.
he's not a commissioner, he's the owner, has this morals clause for all the fighters, and then he slaps his wife. Um, says he's paying dearly for his reputation. There's no criminal charges or anything. She supposedly slapped him first, and then he slapped her back or whatever. He did come out with a press conference today, said there's no excuse, he should know better. La, la, la. But it just sounds like lip service more than anything
Yeah.
else.
Maybe they ought to do a slapping contest. You know how
Yeah.
they stand.
There's talk about a league coming up. Did you see that? There is
Yeah.
talk about a slapping league, and he's supposed to be one of the guys running it. And I'm like, oh, and you just stand there, and a guy
Maybe he was
slaps,
just
and the
practicing.
next guy slaps you, and whichever guy falls down first, I guess, is who.
Jeez,
What are we
what
going
is
to come
wrong
up with next? I can't, you got cornhole, which I don't mind. Then you got, now you got this, people slapping each other, and pickleball. And we come up with more games and ways to entertain ourselves. It's crazy. But yeah, his is a serious issue with domestic violence, and a lot of people are going to be watching how he handles himself, and he's the face of that. And you've got ESPN, and you got a lot of other sponsors who may say, you know what, we're pulling out. We're
Yeah.
pulling out of here. You can't have somebody running a violent sport that is also a violent
Yeah.
person,
No,
especially
I
against
mean,
women.
you shouldn't do it at all, no matter who you are. But
No,
when you're in a spot like what most of these people are, they're just dumb.
yes,
I just don't. They know that the stuff's going to come out on them, and they just. And like you said, they're going to lose sponsorships and,
Mhm.
and fans probably. And I mean,
Yeah, oh yeah, going to be protests, all kinds of things, so, and rightfully so.
yeah,
Uh, we'll segue from that into what we've been covering this time of the year, which is basically football. We're going to get ready to start playoffs, but there are some notable football stories. There is one more non-football story. Um, Naomi Osaka, who's a really tremendous tennis player, but has had mental anguish issues, is sitting out the entire year, all of 2023, partly because she is going to have a baby. She's pregnant.
mm,
So she's sitting out the entire season uh, in the world of tennis. So that's a little newsworthy as well. We hope, obviously, that she's fine, and and I'm sure part of that is because she doesn't want to go through all the questions and all the issues that come up with already having a baby and being a celebrity, and then everybody critiquing your performance on the tennis court. So don't blame her, and good luck to her. That's all we can
yeah.
say. All right, football news. Um, the New York Jets owner, Woody Johnson, who, remember, has been away for a couple of years and was over in Europe running a business, is back. He was back this season. I'm sure what he was doing was evaluating. And I think maybe rightfully so, thinks that the biggest issue on that team to get it better is at quarterback. That's probably right. They've got a good defense, and they got a couple of weapons. I think they could use another weapon and a quarterback. He has said the plan is to keep Zach Wilson, but basically for the future. He is ready to pay, and he said he is ready to pay a good veteran quarterback. Now you're opening the door. I mean, is Aaron Rodgers available? Is Tom Brady going to be available? Derek Carr is available, and he did come out. He made a statement today that when he said he wanted to be a Raider for life, he didn't know that what they were going to do to this team in this 1 year. So he is ready to sign on with another team.
Yep.
So you've got 2 or 3 pretty decent quarterbacks who may be available, but they better not put all their eggs in one of those baskets and then get burned. They got to, I think, keep options open. Derek Carr is obviously a step up for them from what they have. But they got to protect him. Tom Brady, if you get Tom Brady, you have to protect Tom Brady.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers, you probably need some protection. He's used to having weapons. The Jets don't have a whole. They got one decent receiver, I think, and that's it. They need another good receiver. But you never know who's going to be available. But technically, Derek Carr would have to be traded. But that looks like the Raiders are putting feelers out to see. The other part of that is if it's before March. If it gets to mid-March when the quote-unquote NFL season begins, as they say,
They'll cut him.
they could cut him. And if I'm another team, I'm just waiting for that.
I'm waiting. Yeah.
Why should I trade you any? The only reason I would consider a trade might be a draft pick is because if the Jets want a quarterback and somebody else wants a quarterback, you want to,
Right.
and he's your guy, but no matter who it is, you want to jump on it.
Right.
So
And
that
I think you could probably give up a 5th rounder for him. I don't think it don't have to be that high of a trade,
4th or
because they'll
5th.
take
I
anything.
don't see anything higher than that, because somebody was saying today 25 teams would get rid of their quarterback and go Derek Carr. I said I don't think it's 25. When I sit back and look at all the teams down the line,
Yeah, it's not
it's
25.
not 25, but it could be 15. It could be
half.
it
Yeah.
could be 16. You know, I mean, right off the top of your head, you know, Mahomes isn't going to, you know, they're not going to dump him. Nobody's going to dump Josh Allen.
Right.
We don't know what Baltimore is going to do with Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson, just came out, has ruled himself out for this week. Huntley did throw the ball at limited practice today, so there's a chance he'll play. If not, you're going with your 3rd stringer Brown. Miami, Tua is out.
No Tua. Yeah.
Yeah. So even if somehow they
and probably no Bridgewater either.
No, and they said probably no Bridgewater. They're setting up Skylar Thompson to be the starter this week.
3rd stringer.
3rd stringer, rookie 3rd stringer from Kansas State, but he's still a rookie 3rd stringer. You know, what do you expect? So yeah, when you look at it, I mean, Philly's not going to give up on Hurts. Dallas probably isn't going to give up on Prescott, even though they should think about it. It's iffy whether the Giants give up on Jones. He's had a pretty good season. Then you look, Cousins is probably locked in. Rodgers might be available. That's what they're saying. Chicago's keeping Justin Fields. Detroit's probably going to keep Jared Goff. What a great season he had. So, I mean, you look down the line, San Francisco's got 3 quarterbacks. They may trade one of them. But people are talking about maybe they're trading Jimmy Garoppolo again.
Right.
Or he might be available again. Because Purdy looks great.
Yeah, Purdy looks good.
Purdy looks good, and you got Trey Lance, and he's going to come back from injury. So,
and you get the kid from the Chargers. He's
not going anywhere. Herbert,
he's not going nowhere.
That's what I'm saying. Herbert's not going anywhere. Denver's got too much wrapped up into Wilson. They're not giving up. Arizona's got too much into Murray, even though they don't think Murray's going to be ready to open the season.
Right.
With his knee injury, but they got too much wrapped up in it. So when you start going down the list of teams, you know, a lot of these guys aren't going to throw those guys away.
Right.
You know,
I could see Rodgers going to the Raiders only because of Davante Adams.
But there was a feeler put out there today on NFL Network. I was listening to a guy, and he said there's a chance the Raiders put out feelers for trades for Davante Adams, which would make everything interesting, because if it's a team that needs a quarterback, if Adams says, look, you signed Derek Carr, I'll come over.
Right.
You know, that could happen. I think Carr, if he had weapons, would look pretty good in Indy. There's a couple weapons in Washington. So I think there's places he could improve a team. But, you know, it'd have to be a really good situation for him. You're right about coaches. Denver is interviewing Sean Payton this week coming up.
Mhm.
He's got 2 or 3 supposed opportunities. Of course, Denver's former head coach Hackett is being interviewed as offensive coordinator, which was his gig before. In a couple of places, there's permission to interview him as an OC, not as a head coach. So there'll be some movement with coordinators in the beginning. We'll see what happens there. But the Houston situation, of course, that's a mess because, if you're a black head coach, you probably don't want to go there because you're probably only going to get a year. The
Right.
last 2 have gotten a year and they dump them.
Right.
It just doesn't look good. It's bad. You gotta give somebody a shot, So
And then, yeah, you got Harbaugh that's
he's
looking at the Colts and the Panthers.
looking at Colts and Panthers, and he was interviewed by Denver as well.
Right.
So
And then you got Reich and Caldwell also
Reich,
looking at.
Caldwell, yep. A couple of teams are looking at them. A couple of them are looking at Reich as an OC. There's 1 or 2 look at him as a possible head coach. So yeah, there's guys out there, and there's teams that are going to be looking for new head coaches and offensive coordinators. They're talking about Hackett maybe going to Washington as an OC. Who knows?
Yeah. You got DeAndre Hopkins. Arizona's looking to trade him.
They're looking to trade him. What's
Texans,
that going to do for Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Texans with Brandon Cook is looking to be traded.
Yeah, he's looking to get out of there. He is. He's looking to get out. Wouldn't surprise me if the Giants put up. Oh, geez, he just caught his first touchdown pass this after his first contract with them. Galladay.
Oh, okay, yeah, Kenny Galladay.
Yeah, Kenny Galladay. They may be looking to do something with that because he's in his second season and he just caught his first touchdown pass against Dallas. Or it wasn't against Dallas. I'm sorry, I can't remember who they played this past week, but he caught his first touchdown pass. Let's see. Let's take a quick peek. Oh, and they have decided that if the Chiefs and Bills play for the AFC Championship, it will be in Atlanta. That's definite. They've picked the field and the location for that. It would be in Atlanta. So I understand it, but I'm kind of mixed on it.
Right.
Well, but part of that's being a Chiefs fan. The Chiefs aren't complaining at all. They're like,
right.
It is what it is. So that's kind of good. If they'd moved it to Buffalo, then a lot of people would have had a problem.
Sure.
And that's the best thing, is a neutral field. And it's not really near either team. So that's good too. Indy, you could probably argue it'd be closer for Kansas City maybe, or somewhere else. But Atlanta's probably the best place to pick. All right. I'm going to drop some 411 on you, Bill, about how we did this season.
Yeah.
And
the playoffs start a new clean slate.
Start a whole new season. We're wiped clean, buddy. We got to wipe it clean.
I bow to you. I bow to you.
Thank you. Your percentage stayed okay. And you actually only finished about 5 points off of Vegas, percentage points. So you may have actually caught them if you'd been able to, but you hung in there. And I'm going to tell everybody something here. Billy and I picked how these folks, these teams were going to finish in their division. Billy picked 2, or was it 3? Let me look, Bill. I have it here. I know you picked at least 2, maybe 3. Now, 2 divisions right on the money. You picked the AFC East right on the money with Buffalo, Miami, New England Jets. And you picked the AFC North, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. You picked them, both of those, right on the money. And you were only wrong out west. You put the saddle on Denver, and the Broncos just let you down. I know I was with Russell Wilson. I think I was like, I could see that, but that one I felt bad for you because you didn't have much of a shot there. But in the AFC, you did okay, buddy. NFC not so much.
Now, the NFC North, I should have been all right, right? Because I
Let me
took
look. You may
Minnesota,
have been. Let me see. Yeah, Minnesota.
Green Bay.
No, Detroit finished above Green Bay.
Oh, that's right.
Take
Yeah,
a look.
that's right.
You'll
Yeah,
see
yeah.
Minnesota, Detroit, Green Bay, Chicago. So they
Right.
were flip flop from what you had. Um, you may have been. Oh, you were almost right with the NFC South. You had Tampa Bay finishing first, but you had New Orleans second. It ended up being Carolina. So it was
Right.
Tampa Bay, Carolina, New Orleans, Atlanta. And in the West, you had Arizona, and then
Ugh,
but you had the Rams, then Arizona,
right.
and who knew they would both just dive bomb. Um,
Right.
so because it ended up being San Francisco, then Seattle, then the Rams in Arizona.
Right. And who knew San Francisco was going to get
Was,
McCaffrey too?
was going to
So
get McCaffrey, and who knew that Brock Purdy might be the second coming of
yeah.
Messiah? Holy mackerel! He hasn't lost a game yet since he took over. 5 weeks in a row now.
Mhm.
I only had one perfect division, which was the NFC South somehow. I did have Tampa Bay, Carolina, New Orleans, Atlanta.
Mhm.
The rest of them, I had issues. What I had? I was close. New England, Miami, I had them flip flopped. I had Miami finishing third when they finished second. Oh, and I had Washington and the Giants backwards. I had the Giants finishing fourth when they finished third. So over Washington. I thought Washington was going to be better, but Carson Wentz killed them.
Right.
If he's under contract, that's the good news. Bad news is it's not guaranteed. So they can just dump him. He's gone.
Yeah.
He gone. Great.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. I mean, with the playoffs on the line, I cannot believe they started him.
No,
It just blows
no.
my
With 2
mind.
games left, they missed the playoffs by half a game.
Yeah.
Half a game, and that rookie didn't do bad. He could have beat one of them other two teams that weren't
Mhm.
going great. I think he could. I mean, he looked good against Dallas of all teams.
Yeah.
Dallas looked terrible.
Oh,
They looked awful. And I don't know what they did. I don't know that. I guess they sold it in. In the playoffs, we have. I'm trying to see what our pick was. You had Buffalo against the Rams, and I had Buffalo. I'm trying to say, against the Niners.
Yeah. So you got a shot.
So I got a shot. You still
I
have
got a half a shot.
You got half a shot, yeah. So there we have it. Records wise, I know you weren't paying attention because you have other things to do. Nothing personal, but I kicked ass the last 2 weeks.
Did you?
I'm sorry to say, yeah, both the spread and I had 1 week I was 13-3 with straight picks. Yeah, here it is. So I ended up 62%, pulled it out on the spread, pulled it out from nowhere. I was finishing 11-5, 10-6 another week. I was like, finally, of all times, now it kicks in. Right? And there were a couple games that I missed that everybody in the world missed, like the Dallas-Washington game. There's nobody that would have bet on it. Yeah, if they were, unless they were just looking for the get rich long shot.
Right.
Nobody that would have bet that game.
Yeah.
Not the way it was. So, and there was another game too. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Miami the Jets? No.
Oh, that was a shit game.
That was a crap shit. I will just say it. That was a shit game. And it was awful. Chargers in Denver.
Oh yeah, Denver beat. Yeah.
Denver winning. I was like, how the hell did that happen? So yeah, those 2 games kind of cost me on the spread, but they would cost anybody, you know. So there you have it. You finished over 50% with both. You were at like 53 and 57.2. So you did all right. I mean, we've done better, but you wouldn't have lost. The key is you would not have lost money if you stuck with us.
Right.
That's the key. You would have gained money on it. So That's all we're in it for. Other than that, it's entertainment value. Bill does throw a bet out every once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Yeah, nothing serious. I didn't this season. That could change next season.
Yeah,
I
excellent.
came from nowhere and won my ESPN fantasy championship. Went
Nice.
my last 5 regular season games and won 3 straight playoff games. So I won 8 in a row. And ended up in the championship game, thumped the guy too, who had the best overall record. Thumped him by about 50 some points.
Nice.
When I picked up Jared Goff, Kyler Murray got injured, so you're allowed to put one guy on IR. Put him on IR and picked up Purdy and Goff and kept looking at who was, and man, they both just kicked it. And George Kittle I picked up when Dallas Goedert got hurt. Somehow somebody Kittle had was hurt early in the season. So a guy that drafted him dropped him. I'm like, please. So I jumped all over him. And so yeah, and all of a sudden I just took off. I had Swift, I picked up Pacheco, who was just sitting there, nobody grabbed him, and I was like, I'm living, man. McLaurin had a decent season. So I had a pretty good squad, and it finally, about halfway through the season, it just took off.
Nice.
Sweet. So I won 8 in a row to win that, and I'm like, do you get a T-shirt? No, they just send you, congratulations, you're the champion.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, I was 1 out of 4 in my league where I lost in the finals.
You got there at least.
Yeah.
A lot of other guys didn't, so that's good. All right, so here we go, folks. We can make some overall playoff predictions, and then we can pick this week's games if we want here. So Bill, well, we can pick this week's games, and that'll automatically tell us who we think. Or if you want, we can.
We could do that, and we got the point spread. And if you want to,
I got the point.
If you have DraftKings up, we could even do the over under.
I do have the DraftKings spread up. So I just used it just before I got a hold of you, so the spreads are up to the minute.
Okay.
And here we go. There's DraftKings. So we do have the point spread. Over under is 42.
For the Seahawks
and the Niners, it's 42 points.
Ooh.
That's close. That's close.
Good.
The Niners defense is pretty good, but I think I'd go over.
Yeah, I believe so too.
Yeah. I don't know. Let me put that over here as a category. See if I can squeeze it in here on the old sheet. On over under. And Bill and John, we're both going to go with the over here, right?
Yes.
Okay. The point spread is 9.5 points. Niners are favored.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
I like
the playoff.
The Niners definitely win the game.
Yes, I'm with you there.
9.5. And the thing is, the 49ers are getting better, and Seattle hasn't been. They got lucky to get in there.
Yeah.
And Geno Smith is showing the Geno Smith of old, I think.
a little bit, every so often. Though he did make a couple nice plays last week. You're right. He's trying to show.
They played twice. I think the Niners beat them twice in the.
I believe you're right.
I'm not sure if any of the games were close or not. I'm not sure.
I don't know if, but we can check. 2, 3, 49ers versus the Seahawks. Let's see what that says. Well, that's that one. Meeting in the playoffs. That's the 14th. I don't want the playoff game. Let's put regular season because they're giving me all the playoff stuff. Regular season results. Let me see. How many times Seahawks beat the 49ers? I better put the year in here. It's starting to show me all these up here. My own fault.
Nothing's ever easy, man.
No, it never is. Now, early look at 49ers.
You should just ask Alexa.
Yeah. Seahawks results. Following is a list of all regular and postseason games between them. All right, that's good because it'll just show me the other two. On the 15th, they beat the Seahawks. The Niners did 21-13.
Hmm.
But in September, in September they beat them 27-7.
Yeah.
So neither game really close. The one in Seattle was closer. And the one in Santa Clara was, as they say, was not.
Right.
Thumping.
Um,
12-15 meant that was Brock
I
Purdy.
love to take, yeah, I love to take San Francisco and give the points, but Brock Purdy, you never know in the playoffs. You
You know
don't.
what? I know he's a rookie. Pete Carroll is a defensive coach. They keep games pretty close, but I will say the December 15th game, that was a Brock Purdy game. But they would have 21-13. It wouldn't have beat the spread. It would have lost to the spread, which is 9.5.
9.5, exactly.
So now you got to discover, but it is in Santa Clara this time. That game, they would have beat the spread.
Yeah.
But they didn't have Brock Purdy playing that game. That was Jimmy Garoppolo, I believe, in September.
With the Seahawks backing in, I think, of the playoffs, I'm gonna give the points.
I did. I'll tell you that. I already did. I did. I took San Francisco.
So we're the same, all three on that one.
We're all three across the board. Yep. Chargers in Jacksonville. I am surprised this spread is only 2.5. But
yeah,
they're probably
the home dog.
Yeah. Now, well, I can see him being a home dog here, but a bit of word came out today. Mike Williams was limited in practice and is questionable with his back, which is a whole new injury.
Right. But they also get offensive guard Slater back.
But they get Slater back, and that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal for getting Herbert some protection. I actually thought it would be a bigger spread for the Chargers, but then again, that home thing, if they were in Los Angeles, I almost said San Diego.
Right.
It's up to 3 points. Now you're talking 5.5. Jacksonville's coming. In the next couple of years, they're going to really – I mean, nobody predicted they'd win the division, and they went out and thumped Tennessee.
Right.
Of course, Tennessee still didn't have Tannehill. You do realize now how valuable even a competent quarterback can be for your team, because Tannehill's not a superstar.
No.
But he takes care of the ball, and he does what that word, which is almost like a swear word to quarterbacks, which is manage the game. Because Derrick Henry still had over 100 yards, but they figured out a way to win.
Right.
That was a scoop and score game, actually, if somebody fumbled. And Jacksonville scooped it up and took it in for the winning touchdown. So, but
what's the over under?
Over under is 47.5. You know what? That's one where I'm going to go under, buddy.
All right.
I am. I'm thinking under. Because I think that's high.
Yeah, but it could be a high score, and I'm going to take the over.
Okay.
So this way here we'll have a little
difference there. And I think it'll be close, even if it does go over. I think 49-50, Chargers have a pretty good defense, but Jacksonville's D is coming on. So
yeah,
I think it's going to depend on, like you said, the Chargers are getting their offensive lineman back. I think it's going to depend on whether Jacksonville can run the ball a little bit. If Etienne can run, every so often takes the pressure off Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the difference. If they can't run the ball much, they're in trouble, I think.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Yeah.
And as much as I wouldn't mind seeing Jacksonville win. I just got to go with the Chargers. I think. The better quarterback.
Better quarterback.
And
so what's his name's coming? Now that he's got a couple weapons.
And then Eckler. So
yes. Because you still have Keenan Allen, even if Mike Williams doesn't play.
Yeah.
So because it's only 2.5, I hate to say it, but I got to agree with you. If it
Okay.
was if it was more than a field goal, I would probably take Jacksonville with the points. Give me the point. But it's only 2.5, so I'm with you on it. But we're still different on the over/under, so that's good. Miami and the Bills. Have a seat, sit down, because Tua's not playing. I'm getting the feeling Tua's not going to play, even if somehow they pull off the miracle.
Right.
Because I was watching a lot of stuff off and on all day today. He still hasn't passed concussion protocol.
Right.
I think Miami's already made the decision. We're not playing him no matter what.
Yeah, and I think he also agreed. I think he even came out and said, "I'm not playing unless I'm ready." So
right, and you know what? You figure he's had 3 concussions in one season, and they were within a 6-week span. And that one on Thursday Night Football, that looked awful. That was terrible. Well, where his hand and just his reaction. You are more susceptible if you have them fairly quick, and I think it's the right thing if you're going to count on him as your future, or even just as a person.
Right.
Even forgetting the quarterback end, I think it's the right deal that you keep him out. And no matter what happens, and say, let's see if he can play next season, or does he need to retire? He may need to talk to his doctors and say,
that's a real good possibility.
It's a possibility. So 2 is out. It looks like Bridgewater's out too. So it looks like Skylar Thompson, the 3rd-string quarterback rookie from Kansas State University.
And the running back Mostert has a broken thumb. So
has a broken thumb. They were saying he's questionable. Yeah, they don't know if he's playing. So that gives you just Jeff Wilson in the backfield. They have weapons, but you got to get the ball to the weapons.
Yeah.
It's 13.5 for the spread. Obviously, Buffalo. It's in Buffalo. That's the other part too. Miami doesn't play well in the cold. The over/under is 43.5. I'm gonna go with the over, and that is because I think Buffalo might rout them badly. It could be like 41-20, which sounds like it's a rout, but it gets you 61 points.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think we're going to be across the board on this. Give the 13.5.
Yeah.
Taking Buffalo, and I'll take the over also.
Okay. Yeah, I think you almost have to in this case. Don't get me wrong; it'll make it really interesting if not. But
I mean, the average almost 30 points a game, Buffalo alone. So
already, yeah. So we're both going with the over there.
And they just signed to the active squad Beasley.
Oh, Cole Beasley. Well, he was on last week, I think.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah. So he played last week. I think he caught 1 or 2 balls, but he was on last week. But you're right. Yeah, they made him active. So that's another slot weapon, at least for Josh Allen, because he needs more weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I need more chins. Okay. Bastards. Let me put the points in here. For that one, it is, we said 43.5. Look at the Chargers one was 47.5. Jeez. Yikes. And the Seattle San Francisco game was 40. Now it's 42. I thought it said 41 a minute ago, but it's 42 now. Okay. My screen did refresh, so maybe that's the only thing that changed. I don't know why. Okay. Giants in Minnesota. Now, the first game, Seattle, San Francisco, is Saturday, 4:25 Eastern. Saturday night is the Chargers in Jacksonville. Sunday, 1 p.m. is Miami in Buffalo. And Sunday, 4:30, our next game is the Giants against the Vikings. The spread is only 3. The over-under is 48.
Hmm.
I'm
They just played a couple weeks ago, and I believe did the Vikings win? I believe.
I thought the Giants might have won. Let's double check. Let's go back and find out. I think I can find out here on the. I don't want that playoff bracket offering, blah blah blah. Buy tickets. No. Week. When did they play? Let's find out.
Probably week 16.
I'll look up week 16 and see what happens. Oh, actually, you can look up the teams. So let me just click on the team. I'll click on the Giants here and find out. Regular season, they played when? They played Saturday the 24th. The Giants lost by 3.
Yep.
And they were at Minnesota.
And they're at Minnesota
again.
And they're getting 3.
Getting 3. So it's exactly on the money. The 3 is killer because that's a field goal. I mean, that's got pushed.
I've heard quite a bit that a lot of people are thinking the Giants are going to win this, but
I've heard it, and I'll be honest with you, I kind of think they might.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but Minnesota just has too many weapons right now, so I got to take Minnesota.
You know what I'm going to do before we jump off it, just for a second? I'm going to double check the injuries because Cook was hurt last week, but his backup came in and did
Madison.
Madison played pretty well. I don't want the scores go back, but I want to see. Nobody has said anything about him being out. It wouldn't surprise me if he's.
No, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, normally you see something. And I mean, I had everything on. I had NFL Network, I had ESPN, I had all this stuff going last few days in the background here. Minnesota, let's see. He's not on the injury list.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's okay. All right. So
I'm going to take Minnesota, give the 3, and I'll take the under.
Yeah, you're with me on the under, I think. Minnesota. What do we say? It was what,
48.
48? Yeah, that's high, especially for these two teams. But Minnesota could do the same thing. They could rout them.
Oh, sure they could. Yeah.
31 to 16 or 18 or 20, and you've got your thing. But I'm gonna go under, Bill. You're going over.
No, I'm both going under. Yeah.
Oh, we're both going under. Yeah, I just think it's going to be under.
I think it could be like a 24 to
20 game or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Even 27-20, we're still under.
Yeah.
Man, Minnesota's so inconsistent.
They are.
They're so up and down. But it is a home playoff game. Gosh, if it was 3.5 or 4, I'd take the Giants with the spread. I'd give the points. But it's
this could actually be a push.
I said that earlier. I said this might be a push game here. I'm gonna say Minnesota. I almost want to predict a push. That's how much I think it could be. I mean, I think it's a push. Minnesota's going to win by a field goal. I mean, I really almost believe that. But they could run away with it too. I think if it's a push, the Giants have played pretty well. They're short on weapons. I mean, you got Barkley, Jones. That's really it. Galladay caught a ball, yay. And what's the other kid? Slater, the receiver. But he's okay. But that's it, really. They're a weapon or 2 away. I think if they get another weapon or 2 next year, Jones is going to look even better than he did this year. I think he looks pretty good. I think they realize he's not bad. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Jalen Hurts. But he's pretty good. He's not bad. He's like maybe Derek Carr level or maybe a notch above Derek Carr because he's a little more mobile.
Right.
And that's the key. He'll run Cousins doesn't run much.
Hmm.
But I think, yeah, I think you're right. I think the Giants will win. But yeah, I think under is the way to go with that one.
Yeah.
That one is Sunday at 4:30 in the afternoon. Sunday night football, Baltimore at Cincinnati. Baltimore's got more issues than a political conference. Man, they're I think they have a one ad out for a quarterback. Loosen up the old arm, buddy.
There you go.
Get that arm going here. Actually, I think they were saying that Hundley was throwing some passes today in a limited, but he was throwing passes today, which supposedly is a big improvement. If Lamar is he said it himself now, is that he's
Right.
It is the Bengals by 9.5 is the spread at the moment.
Right.
I don't see it changing much if it's Huntley going into play.
Right.
It could go to 8, 8.5 or 7.5. It's not going to change much.
No.
Over under is 40.5 points. So they're predicting a low scoring game. I am not. I think Cincinnati is going to just run away with this thing. It wouldn't surprise me if they put 35 up by themselves.
Yeah, the only problem is the Ravens. Can they move the ball?
Yeah, and I don't.
I mean, they may try to run the ball, which would eat up the clock. But
yes, yeah,
I think Cincinnati wins by at least 10, and
yeah, and I think they score a lot of points.
And I think it'll be the over also.
Yeah, I think it's a blowout. All right, so I got you there now. That could change. The over/under could change, so I'll keep an eye on that, depending on whether Huntley plays or not.
Yep.
But if it does, it won't be by much.
And the weather, we got to see what the weather.
Oh, true. The weather could be, it's in Cincinnati. It could be a little colder there than Baltimore. Baltimore would probably be more wet if it's raining, but we'll see. Last, I would say, but not least, but I don't like one player on one team and the other team I despise completely. Monday Night Football, 8:15 Eastern. Dallas. What's funny is Dallas goes to Tampa Bay. That's funny to me because Tampa Bay didn't even finish 500 and Dallas only had 4 losses, maybe 5. Might have had 5.
I think they had 5 with the
because the Washington debacle. Oh man, that's the thing that keeps me in the hunt.
And Dallas is 0-7, I believe, against
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, yeah.
Well, it's 45.5. 45.5 points is the over under. And you probably will like this pick. I'm going with Tampa Bay. The spread's only 2.5. I think Tom terrific. The way Dallas is playing, if Tom gets protection, he's going to chew him up. I really believe it. They're not going to score a whole lot of points. Tampa doesn't score points that much.
Right.
But if they can get Leonard Fournette and that kid White,
if
they can get those 2 guys running. And Tampa,
and Mike Evans has been lighting it up the last 2 weeks.
He's lighting it up lately. So I think, and who's the other kid? You got Gage, and they got another kid too. Julio Jones is still in the mix too.
You got Julio, and you have who was the other guy?
Oh, I can't remember. White can catch balls
what's it, Godwin? Yeah.
Oh, Godwin, yes.
Godwin, yeah.
So I think if Tampa's defense comes to play and they can and Washington may have taught them something too. If they go back and watch the game tape, they might say, hey, okay, if we can put pressure on Dak, we could get a pick 6. Dak's interception rate, he's thrown, I think they said 7 weeks in a row, he's thrown a pick.
Yeah. No, yeah, not good.
It's not good.
And Tampa hasn't really been impressive either.
No,
Uh, and it's tough to
no, they haven't been. I mean, they're
bet
not even
against
500.
Brady.
Yeah,
They're a home dog on Monday night.
yeah.
Uh, I got Dallas circled, so I guess I'll have to stick with that for now.
I made a commitment. I guess I'm stuck.
I
Well,
mean, Pollard will be back. Zeke will be back.
Pollard's
So, I
back,
mean,
Zeke's back. That's the key.
and they
So,
got receivers, and I tell you who might be not the star of this game, but it could be a big difference is T.Y. Hilton
yeah,
at Dallas.
him and what's the other kid's name? Not CeeDee Lamb, who I had in fantasy, and he helped
All right.
immensely. The kid on the other side, I can't remember, had a pretty good game last week, and he's had a couple of really good games, and he might be your guy too, because I think they're
Brown,
gonna.
that's his name, Brown, or something. I think it's a
Oh,
Brown.
Brown, yes,
Yeah,
there's Brown, and their tight end Schultz had a good game last week.
Schultz. Yeah. So,
So yeah, and I may wimp out and change it before Monday night. I probably will like get your head back, boy. But I really think Tampa Bay could give them a game, and especially after seeing the egg that Dallas laid last week, I think it's going to
but
depend.
Washington defensively is not bad. So
No, that's
I
the
think
other team
Washington's
though is
better
Washington.
defense than
Yeah,
Tampa. So
yeah, yeah. But Tampa's defense isn't bad, but it's not
no,
as
it's
good
not.
as Washington.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not
Yeah,
as
it's not.
It's going to depend on pressure. If they can get
Yeah.
pressure on Dak and slow up the running game just a little bit, then
Mhm.
they could pull out the win. If they win, it's going to be like 20-17 or 23-17 or something.
Yeah, that's what
Not
making
a
me.
high
I'm not
scoring
sure.
game.
40.
And I'm going to go under on that 45. The only way that's going to go over is if if one team really turns the ball over a lot and the other one takes advantage of it. To me, that's the way that'll go.
Yeah, 45 and a half is a lot.
Yeah, I think that's high.
24-20 makes it 44. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we only got what? We got one
Well,
different on the over under,
one,
and then
we got one difference on
one in
over
the game this
under, or we
game.
might have two. No, we got one. You're right.
You
But we
know what?
have a difference in games too.
I'll take the over.
Okay, you're gonna go over.
So
All
we'll
right,
have three different, two on the overs,
two
and
in the
then
over under, and in this game I
one
picked
game.
differently.
Yep.
Yep. So, all right.
So we won't be tied unless there's a push.
Unless there's some kind of a push. Yeah, that 3-point Minnesota game could be a push. That's the one I think the Miami or Minnesota and the Giants could be a push. All right, now Philadelphia and Kansas City, of course, have the byes in each conference. That being said, it looks like we're saying that right now you are saying San Francisco, and this is the NFC, Minnesota and Dallas. In the AFC, you're saying Chargers, Bills, Cincinnati.
Correct.
Okay, LAC, Buffalo, and Cincinnati. I'm saying San Francisco, Minnesota. It just makes me cringe every time I say it. Minnesota, it really does. I'm saying Tampa Bay, but I might switch my upset of the week from Tampa Bay to the Giants. I mean, it's almost like an upset. And we're both going Chargers, Buffalo, and Cincinnati. Now, when we look at this, Bill, it's almost like now we want to pen die. I hate that. So remember, those number one teams get the lowest seed when they come back. So the next week, if we look, it would be, well, if it goes the way you think, Philly would have to play Dallas because that's the only wild card that would be left.
Right.
Now, Dallas would have to go to Philly. So you're looking at Philly, Dallas, and
then if
San
Tampa wins,
Francisco,
they'll go
Minnesota.
to Philly.
Now,
Yeah.
if I have it, yeah, it would be Tampa would still have to go to Philly because Philly would have the better record. Obviously,
Right.
they're going to be home throughout the play.
Right.
And then Minnesota against Dallas, or I'm sorry, Minnesota against San Francisco. I think San Francisco was the higher seed. They did they win last week? Yeah, they won last week.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
So it would
the
be
thing,
Minnesota.
actually, if the Giants upset Minnesota, Giants would be playing Philly.
Yes, if the Giants upset Minnesota, right? And then right, so that would be
And then
Philly,
Dallas and
Dallas,
San
Minnesota.
Fran. If
I'm
Dallas,
saying that it would be Philly, Tampa Bay, and still Minnesota and San Francisco, right? But you're right. If the Giants win, Giants would go to Philly because they'd be the lowest seed.
right.
AFC, you're talking Kansas City. Who would they be playing? It looks like they'd have to play the Chargers if they win because the Chargers are the only wild card that would be left.
Right.
And then I think it'd be Cincinnati goes to Buffalo.
Yeah.
So yeah. Woo! Wow. That would be brutal.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would have the same thing. KC would have to play the Chargers.
Right.
And yeah, Cincinnati.
But I mean, out of all the AFC games, Jacksonville would have the most chances of upsetting.
Yes. Yeah.
If Jacksonville would actually go to Kansas City.
Yeah, if they would go to Kansas City if they beat the Chargers. So either way, that the winner of that game.
So either way, Buffalo and Cincinnati are going to play each other no matter
Right.
what.
That's the way it looks. As long as they both win, they'll play each other. And then either the winner of the Chargers Jacksonville game would play Kansas City in Kansas City. Meanwhile, yeah, I think the NFC has a better chance of a couple of upsets.
I
shouldn't say that. The Chargers Jacksonville game might be the overall pick. Except, in all honesty, it wouldn't surprise me if Jacksonville figures out a way to win. That's what they did this season. And it wouldn't surprise me if the Giants beat Minnesota, only because Minnesota is so inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already wavering on the Tampa Bay Dallas pick, but I'm keeping it for now. But the more I think about it, I think Dallas just overlooked Washington, which was stupid on their part, but they did. And it probably didn't really cost them anything though. By the time it was over, it didn't matter. It wouldn't change.
And I tell you what, I'm not a big McCarthy fan.
Yeah, it's almost like Green Bay won despite him. He was never with clock management either. So yeah, he's got some issues, I think. Jerry Jones this week did come out and say he wholeheartedly supports Mike McCarthy and his staff. With Jerry Jones, that's usually the kiss of death. I'll be honest with you. If Dallas loses that game, McCarthy's gone. Jerry will say we were poor the last regular season and we were poor in the playoffs. We need the best thing he'll say is we need a different voice in the locker room.
Yep.
That's how he'll put the highbrow spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
The high road. Otherwise, he's just going to come out and say, we didn't live up to our expectations. We should play better than this with the personnel we had, which he's already started to say that.
Right.
So I think we need to make a change. I thought we needed to make a change. If they lose to the Giants, that's going to be it. Mike McCarthy's going to be another coach looking for a job, but I don't know if he'll get one. That's the only thing. If he fails in Dallas with all this talent, because he's made some questionable decisions over the year. All right, buddy. So at that point, if we look at it, we'd have to say who would win, Philly or Dallas? That would be tough. Minnesota or San Francisco? I would take the Niners in that one because they're better D.
Yeah, I would probably take the Niners too.
Kansas City and the Chargers, man.
I think Kansas City's got
But
no
I
fire.
think the Chiefs pull it out. They have a couple more weapons.
Yeah,
Cincinnati and Buffalo.
true. That one, I don't. That could go either way. I couldn't
That
right
could
now. I
go.
couldn't pick. I
Cincinnati
couldn't
was
pick
handling
one.
Buffalo when that injury occurred. A lot of people
Right,
forget Cincinnati was driving.
right.
They were already up like 7-3 or 10-3. I
Yeah,
think.
7-3. Yeah,
Yeah.
7.
It could have been a 14-3 lead. So you don't know, but that was at home. Buffalo, especially with all that's happened, they're going to be jacked up.
Yep.
I would probably
And
say,
it's a shame. It's a shame to see them two play each other because
yeah,
it's
it
like,
would be. It would be. It's a shame to see them play each other now. Yeah. But I think it's going to be Kansas City and Buffalo, and it'll be played in Atlanta. And then on the other side, yeah, both of us would be saying the same thing there.
yeah,
So, and then I have no idea. We'd have to look and see what they both do against each other to make that pick.
yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm thinking Philly would beat Tampa. San Francisco would still beat Minnesota. So I think it could be Philly and San Francisco. And you kind of think the same thing, I think, for the NFC title.
Yep.
Unless somehow Dallas beats Philly or something. But that's saying Dallas beats Tampa Bay. I'm not sure about that. I don't know. In Tampa Bay, I mean, it's hard to go against Tom Stinking Brady.
Yeah, no, and like
It
I said,
really
the
is.
home dog on Monday nights. I
Home dog Monday night with, as much as I hate to say it, the best quarterback that maybe has ever played the game consistently for the longest amount of time as anybody.
oh sure, yeah.
Had his best year yardage wise and completion wise. He's 45 years old. What the frick?
I'm just waiting for his arm to fall off.
I
That's
know,
it.
yeah. And they say he's still gunning it. He's still spinning that baby. He's firing it. Like, holy shit, this guy. And now he doesn't have a supermodel wife to give him shit in the offseason. Might have to visit the kids a few extra times before, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows, man? I think it could come down to Buffalo, KC, Philly, and San Francisco. And then I'm an Eagles fan. I think unless Philly really explodes this week and shows some things that they haven't shown for a few weeks, I think the Niners might beat them.
Yeah, you can't be one dimensional. I just
You can't
if
have this guy.
you stop the running game, yeah.
They say he's still kind of hurting. He's not 100%. So
Right.
if he takes a big hit or he gets hit running the ball, you got some problems.
And I don't think they could. And they can't handle McCaffrey. I think.
No, I was gonna say.
McCaffrey
That's what I was gonna
is
say. They're
gonna
not that great against the run. McCaffrey will chew them up. I think. I really do. So I think San Francisco may be going to the Super Bowl, and they're going to face either Buffalo or Kansas City.
Yeah.
And either one be a great game. And even if Philly gets in, should be a great game.
Right.
But the way San Francisco's hot when they have to be, and I think, like I said, I'm an Eagles fan, and I'm a Chiefs fan. But I'll be honest with you, I think it's going to be. Well, the original I had was we both went Buffalo Rams. Or no, I went Niners, Buffalo Niners.
Right.
It could come out Buffalo Niners.
Yeah.
So we'll see. For some reason, I think because of defense, I think Buffalo would have a little better chance, even though I love Kansas City and I'm a Chiefs fan too. Hey, baby. I think Buffalo's defense is a little bit better, and they would give the Niners a better game. But I think the Niners could take the whole thing. Right now, I'm leaning toward I hope I'm wrong. I hope Kansas City wins it. I hope the Eagles and the Chiefs don't play each other. That might be the first time I don't watch a Super Bowl. I mean, I was on one of my honeymoons and watched a Super Bowl one week. I mean, this one could be one. If it's Philly and Kansas City, I gotta turn Mork and Mindy on or some shit. I don't think I can watch it. I don't know. I might have to watch it because we'll have to do a show, but I'll be like, oh, Jesus. Wow, what a hit. He can't do that. Yes, he can. I'll be like, ay. It would be tough. And they
Yeah,
both and I've seen them both win Super Bowls. So it's not like I can go, well, this one's never won one. I'll root for them.
right, right.
Oh, no, not now. The Chiefs have won two. Eagles, maybe that's how I'd have to look at it. Is, the Eagles have only won one Super Bowl. Other than that, I got nothing.
Oh,
As far as a rooting interest, I mean, if these two play,
yeah.
I'm fried. I just my hope is that Tampa Tom can beat Dallas. Oh, that would just what that would do to the sports shows and everything.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
good night, Irene.
Oh, my Facebook would be going crazy.
Oh God, yeah. The Eagles Facebook would be going nuts. All the Eagles fans would be chiming in, and we want Dallas. But then if Dallas loses, they weren't even good.
Yeah.
I love the Eagles, but I admit the Dallas fans and Eagle fans are so obnoxious to each other.
Oh, they are.
They both are. It's
Absolutely.
awful. Uh, but it is what it is. So, all right, buddy. I guess we'll watch the games, and I'll get a hold of you next week. And like we said at the top of the show, if this isn't on tonight, it'll be on tomorrow morning on all of our outlets. The link for the GoFundMe page will be on YouTube. It will be on Facebook, on the two Facebook pages we put this on, and Billy's page, I'm sure as well. He'll share it. Please look that over, and again, anything you can do or help with, we really appreciate it. And working folks sometimes need a helping hand, and we hope you guys can see your way to doing that. Unless you have something else to add, Bill, we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah, we want to thank our sponsor, Dennis.
Oh, thank God you're here, Bill. I almost forgot again. I even have it in the notes. Do it now, and I still didn't do it. We do want to thank Dennis, who's been a help in this as well. Has shared this thing and has let people know about this situation, as well as being a constant supporter of everything we do here at Public John Media. This show is technically a subsidiary of, I said the word right, of Public John Media. So we want to thank my pal Dennis Ingraldi from Vineland Realty Corporation. They are located at 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. Their phone number 856-690-9482 for any real estate need you have, whether it's a business that you have or are looking for, whether it's a property, whether it's an apartment, a house, a condo, whatever. Give Dennis and his folks a call. If they can't help you themselves, they will steer you in the right area and get you to the right resource that can. That's Vineland Realty Corporation. Pop in, say hello to the folks if you're in the area. Tell Helen and Dennis I said hi. There's a few other people I've never met that are in there now. You can tell them the Public John sent you, or From the Cheap Seats sent you.
Yeah.
That'd be
Might
great.
eat a cookie or two. You never know.
That's right. You might get a cookie or two, or get a cup of coffee or something, or tea or whatever. If it's after hours, who knows, with Dennis. I'm only kidding, Pally. They're located again 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. Anywhere in South Jersey, these guys can help you. These folks can help you out. And again, their phone number 856-690-9482. Thanks, Dennis, for everything you've done and everything you do for us, and everything you do for the folks down in South Jersey and in Vineland. And you probably need to thank Billy because he's my memory. I think I have gotten it on the last couple of weeks, but again, it's like, oh wait, where's Bill when I need him? But I knew where he was. So, Anything else you got, pal?
No, and just thank everyone once again for your overwhelming support and prayers. They were much needed.
Well,
Thank you.
yeah, deserved and much needed, and when we hope everybody continues that kind of support. And Godspeed, buddy, to you and the family, and the best that we can give you from this end. And
Appreciate
let's get out of here before he gets
Yep.
too maudlin on us. All right.
it.
For everybody here at Public John, executive producer Gizmo, who's over here, he huffed and puffed when I picked Tampa Bay. So he was giving me grief in his own way. So we'll see what happens there. He just looked at me when I said Tampa Bay again too. So he's like, Tampa Bay, what? Are you a dumbass? Dumb human, stupid human. So we'll see he's probably right. That's the worst part. I should let him pick. Look at his reaction. So, but thanks, Bill, for and welcome back. And
Yeah, it's good to be back.
whatever you need, just let us know. For my pal Billy Smith, for all of us here at Public John Media, and from the cheap seats for executive producer Gizmo, who's still over here huffing because I said Tampa Bay. We're going to say thanks a lot, folks. Enjoy the games, everybody, and we will see you next week with results, sports news, and see where we stand, who's moving on. For all of us, this is from the cheap seats. Thanks, everybody.
See you later, guys.